Ladies and gentlemen, this is your WWE SmackDown review on Friday. I almost said Wednesday in the beginning. Friday, March 26th, 2021. We are here to talk about tonight's SmackDown. Just 15 days. 15 days before WrestleMania. We have a lot that went down with the main event and the Universal Championship. Did Daniel Bryan get added to the main event of WrestleMania? We are going to talk about that tonight on the channel. We had another match between Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura. We had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn with the Kevin Owens show, and a certain YouTuber, an annoying YouTuber from my standpoint, is showing up next week on SmackDown. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, we have what happened with Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, and a day going to main event, the first night of WrestleMania, after the hashtag that was going on social media Monday night after Raw. But I thank you guys for joining me here tonight on the SmackDown review on the Big Fight Field channel. I really appreciate it. Before we dive into the festivities tonight, I need you guys to check out this past Monday's Raw review. If you haven't checked that out, you can check out the Fastlane review as well with Errol Cole. Make sure you go check that out. We have AEW Dynamite with Wesley Williams this past Wednesday. And yesterday, myself and Cameron Johnson, we did NXT. We did the NXT review. So if you have not already, make sure you guys go and check them out. Sorry, man. It's been a long day. Long day. It is. Let me tell you, man. It was 85 degrees. 85 degrees today in New Jersey. If you are watching this video and you are from New Jersey, did it feel like it was July today and it's only March? It was crazy, man. It was windy, but it was 85 degrees today. That is insane. That's crazy in March. So, I don't know. I just felt like I said that out of the blue. But let's talk about SmackDown. It started off with Daniel Bryan, who talked about the one thing he wanted to do at Fastlane. Instead, he wanted to win the Universal Championship, of course, but he wanted to make Roman Reigns tap out. And that's exactly what he did. He made Roman Reigns tap out. And right now, he should be standing as the Universal Champion. But the problem is, Edge decides to come in and hit Daniel Bryan with a steel chair to cost him the match and to not win the Universal Championship. Bryan then goes on to say that I got screwed out of the Universal Championship, and everybody saw that I had Roman Reigns tapped out in the middle of the ring. So I deserve to main event WrestleMania and compete for the Universal Championship. So then he says he wants a match with Roman Reigns tonight for the Universal Championship, and he is not leaving the ring until he gets that. He is not leaving the ring until he gets that. So then they come back from commercial break. He is still sitting out there. And Adam Pearce is like, I can't give you the match with Roman Reigns tonight. That just wouldn't be fair for me. And that's not a good decision to make him defend the title on tonight, 2 weeks before WrestleMania. So then Daniel Bryan was like, how about we have Edge face Roman Reigns on night one, and the winner faces me on the second night. And then Edge comes out, smacks the microphone away from Adam Pearce, gets in Daniel Bryan's face, and he says, I've had enough of you. You are trying to take away my spotlight of WrestleMania. This is my moment. You talk about this being one of your last WrestleManias. I go into these shows thinking this could be one of my last matches. And he cut a very good promo. And Bryan mentioned when he had his promo, he said, Edge didn't earn his way to WrestleMania, and I earned everything I did to get the Universal Championship match and to face Roman Reigns. I love Daniel Bryan. I 1,000% respect Daniel Bryan, but come on, man. Are you really... You're saying that Edge didn't deserve to be in this main event of WrestleMania? The man won the 30-man Royal Rumble match at number 1. He came out at number 1, and he won the entire friggin' match. So how does he not deserve a Universal title match at WrestleMania? That's just pretty stupid from Daniel Bryan, in my opinion. But we have it. Adam Pearce says that he will make a decision by the end of the night of what he is going to do at WrestleMania. So we got a decision at the end of the night with Bryan, Edge, and Reigns all out there. That's the final thing we're going to talk about. And next we had Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura, which was a rematch from their match at Fastlane this past Sunday, which I'm not surprised they did this rematch again. I'm like, if they picked out one match from Fastlane to do a rematch on Raw or SmackDown, it would probably be this match, and I was right. We got this match again. We got this match again tonight. And hold on a sec. So, we got this match again tonight on SmackDown. Rollins defeats Nakamura again in a decent match. I'm not going to say it was better than the match at Fastlane because I just don't think it was. But Rollins defeated Nakamura in a decent match. After the match, Cesaro comes out to attack. He comes out to attack Nakamura. Not Nakamura. Rollins. He attacks Rollins. He attempts to swing on Rollins. Rollins gets away from it, and then Rollins does a backstage interview where he challenges Cesaro to a match where he's going to finish this once and for all. Cesaro attacks Rollins. He's swinging Rollins backstage, and he says, I accept your challenge at WrestleMania. So we are getting Seth Rollins versus Cesaro at WrestleMania. Be on the lookout for that match, folks. Do not overlook this match between Seth Rollins and Cesaro. This honestly could be the best match on both nights of WrestleMania. It could be that good, in my opinion. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. We had Apollo Crews and the Alpha Academy. Chad Gable and Notice against Big E and the Street Profits. Just a random six-man tag. It was okay for what it was, I guess. Apollo Crews got the win on Big E. He pinned him with the angle with his over-the-head suplex, and he got the win. And then later on, they announced that Apollo Crews is getting a rematch for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. Now, clearly, their finish at Fastlane was botched. WWE did not give an explanation as to why Crews is getting another rematch at WrestleMania. They said Big E requested this rematch at WrestleMania. And in my head, I'm like, Big E just defeated Apollo Crews at Fastlane. Why would he want another match with him at WrestleMania? I don't know. Hopefully we get a segment between these guys next week, but I don't know. It just really doesn't make a lot of sense to me. We then had the Kevin Owens show with Kevin Owens and his guest Sami Zayn. And he said, "Is Sami Zayn going to answer my question?" And Sami Zayn said, I already have you an answer, Kevin. I already have you an answer. And he says, "Yes, I apologize for kicking you in the face so hard last week. I even apologize just for kicking you in the face. And I shouldn't have done that to you last week. And I feel really bad about it. But I still want you to be a part of this documentary." And he goes off. And then he talks about Logan Paul and his Twitter exchange with Logan Paul. And then he brings up the fact that there's going to be a red carpet documentary next week on SmackDown. And Logan Paul is going to be on SmackDown. Now, I'll get to the rest of the segment later. But this really bothers the shit out of me with these celebrities. There are celebrities who come into wrestling and respect the business. Pat McAfee came in and it made sense. It made sense for Pat McAfee to come in with Adam Cole. And Pat McAfee loves the wrestling business. And it turned out he had a great match with Adam Cole. Shaquille O'Neal, it made sense. Even, and I might get heat for this one, even Bad Bunny, as much as his match with The Miz at WrestleMania might be bad, even Bad Bunny coming in and having a program with The Miz makes sense. And Bad Bunny has been a wrestling fan, from what I've heard, he's been a wrestling fan for his entire life. Logan Paul, I don't think he knows what professional wrestling even is. He is a YouTuber, obviously. He is, in my opinion, a very annoying YouTuber, in my opinion. So, I hate this. He has no part of being a build between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. It's really ridiculous at this point, but it sucks. Whatever. The good thing is we're getting a match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. Kevin said, "You never really answered my real question, and I want it yes or no. Will you face me one-on-one at WrestleMania?" Sami Zayn hesitates at first. He's very hesitant about this. He's like, "I don't think this is the way you want to go. You should be a part of the documentary." Kevin Owens then screams yes or no. And he's like, "All right, this is what you wanted? Fine, you got it." And then Kevin Owens beats up Sami Zayn and lays him out in the ring. And we're getting Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. Like I said, I despise the fact that Logan Paul is going to be showing up on SmackDown next week to be a part of this red carpet documentary thing. I hate it. I absolutely hate that idea. He has no business being there. He has no business being there. And why would WWE need Logan Paul? They can't rely on their own roster. They need to bring in Logan Paul. Seriously, man. It's terrible. But the good thing out of this is we're getting Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania, which is a good, I guess, if WWE this is one of their mid-card matches for WrestleMania, this is a good undercard match. And if they give these guys time to go out there and tell their story and give them enough time to put on a good match, because they have done that in the past. They can absolutely do that, and they can have a great match at WrestleMania. Bianca Belair went one-on-one with Natalya. Sasha Banks was on commentary. Bianca was on the what do you call it? She was on the ringside area. Sasha Banks got up, started talking trash to Bianca. Bianca then slapped Sasha Banks in the face, giving Sasha payback from Fastlane when she did that to Bianca. Bianca got the win over Sasha, not Sasha, over Natalya with the KOD, and then Sasha gave Bianca Belair a backstabber and stood tall. So really nothing much happened here, but could this be the main event of the first night of WrestleMania? A lot of people are pushing it to be the main event after Monday's Raw, especially, where early in the morning, this was trending number 5 on Tuesday morning. Main event Banks versus Belair was trending number 5 on Tuesday morning. So a lot of people clearly are in favor of this match main eventing over Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. And you know what? I am in those majority who want these women to main event night 1. 2 reasons. Number 1, Bianca Belair won the Royal Rumble match. Yes, this match might not feel like a main event type match, but Bianca Belair won the Women's Royal Rumble match. There are 2 Royal Rumble matches. That means both Rumble winners should main event both nights. And then number 2, Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. I'm sorry, it just doesn't feel like a main event match to me. And a bunch of people either. I know the story that these women are telling. The build has been really bad. The build for this match has been really, really bad. And with the build, you can't really convince me that this should main event. But here's the kicker. Here's the kicker, folks. This new aggressive side of Sasha Banks. She's bringing out this aggressive... I'm not saying she's a heel, but she's bringing out this new attitude, new aggressive side. WWE has 2 weeks to convince us as to why they have 2 Raws and 2 SmackDowns. And at the end of that, we should be all on one side of what should main event the first night of WrestleMania. Should it be Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship? Or should it be Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship? Only time will tell. But for right now, I'm saying that the main event should be Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. We had Rey Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler in 8 minutes. Rey gets the win after a 619 into a splash. And that was that. Really nothing much to say here. WWE is setting up for a multi-team match for the tag team titles at WrestleMania. Probably the Mysterios, Street Profits, Gable and Otis, and the Dirty Dogs. So that's that. And believe it or not, folks, this is actually the 4th year in a row. I have good memory. This is the 4th year in a row that WWE is doing multi-person tag matches for the tag team titles, for the SmackDown tag team titles at WrestleMania. Just to throw it out there. So the commentary goes over the match card for WrestleMania. We have new matches added to night 1 and new matches also added to night 2. Night 1 is officially Seth Rollins versus Cesaro. That is on the first night. Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman is happening on night 1. And the Raw Tag Team title match between AJ Styles and Omos versus The New Day is also going to be on the first night. And then on night 2, WWE has added Apollo Crews versus Big E for the Intercontinental Championship, and Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. So right now, as of this SmackDown, your night 1 matches are Seth Rollins versus Cesaro, Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon, AJ Styles and Omos versus The New Day, The Miz versus Bad Bunny, Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre, and Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. Your night 2 matches are Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, Big E and Apollo Crews, Rhea Ripley and Asuka, Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt, and the Universal Championship, which we are going to get into right now. He said Adam Pearce is out there. He has Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan all in the same ring. He says, I've taken all of your recommendations. Roman, yours makes sense. You can't defend the championship on both nights. You will only have one title defense. Edge, you make a good case saying Daniel Bryan lost twice and you won the Royal Rumble, so you should get a fair one-on-one match at WrestleMania. But he says Daniel Bryan is right. He tapped out Roman Reigns and was screwed over at Fastlane. So his final decision is a triple threat match. I think we all knew this was coming even before Fastlane. And especially after Fastlane, it was just pretty much all confirmed that it would be a triple threat match for the Universal Championship. That is exactly what is going to happen on night 2. After Daniel Bryan and Edge start attacking each other, Roman gives Edge a Superman punch. Edge then spears Roman Reigns, and he spears Daniel Bryan. He attacks them with steel chairs. Edge loses his mind here. He wants to hit a concerto on Roman. Roman rolls out. He almost got Daniel Bryan with it, but officials and referees came down. He hit Pat Buck with a chair, and he hit Jamie Noble with a chair. And I guess now, like after Sunday night, I said, Edge, I don't know if he's still a heel or a babyface, but after tonight, he's a heel. You can't have him go out there and kick the shit out of Roman, kick the shit out of Daniel Bryan, and just go ballistic attacking all these officials and stuff and say, oh, that guy's a babyface. No, he's a heel. After tonight, he is clearly a heel. And that's the direction WWE is going at WrestleMania, with 2 heels and a babyface. So we're getting the triple threat match. It makes all the sense in the world now for a triple threat match. Because honestly, what is Bryan going to do outside of this at WrestleMania? He has nothing. You had to add Daniel Bryan into this match at WrestleMania. It just made the perfect sense to add him to this match. So that's what we're getting. We're getting a triple threat at WrestleMania. Bryan, Edge, and Roman Reigns. And folks, that is your SmackDown review. Like I said in the beginning, for what it was tonight, I actually thought SmackDown was not a bad show. It was not a bad show. We've had a couple duds the past couple weeks, but this show I felt wasn't that bad. I actually thought it was a fine show tonight. So overall, thumbs up show for me. But thank you guys for joining me here tonight on the Big Fight Fuel channel. I really appreciate that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. On Sunday, we got episode 4 of the Big Fight Fuel podcast. I got some topics lined up for news heading into WrestleMania. I also got the big topic like headliner like I do every week. This week, it is what is your favorite WrestleMania match of all time? If you guys would like to leave a comment down below and tell me your favorite WrestleMania match, I will actually shout that out on the podcast on Sunday and reveal everybody's favorite WrestleMania match. I already got a few ready to go, but that is going to be for Sunday. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Comment down below what you guys think about tonight's episode of SmackDown, 15 days before WrestleMania. Hit that like button. If you like what you heard from me on tonight's SmackDown review on the Big Fight Field channel, follow me on Twitter as well, at Colin_Joseph. And like I said, guys, I will see you on Sunday for episode 4 of the Big Fight Field podcast. So have a good night, guys. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy.